Alright, nothing too fancy today. I'm just going to take a look at a item I picked up at a swap meet here this week. It was kind of hard to pass up. Cheap little 110 arc welder. It was only 20 bucks, so came with the box and the manual and everything, so I thought it was worth a shot. Of course, they always include the cheap mask, cheap little brush and chipping hammer. We've got the owner's manual. A little mildewy, but this stuff out of the way. So pretty straightforward. You got your on off and then your amperage readout, which has corresponding rod size on the top, amperage on the bottom. You know, that's actually going to vary depending on the type of rod you're burning. You know, 33 seconds is not necessarily 70 amps. 7018 is going to take quite a bit more, but anyway, this is how you adjust your amperage. I'm going to crank it up because I don't have any small rods here. All I have is 3/32, so we're just going to crank it up. Max it out. Cords tuck neatly in this little holder here. Sort of. They fit. I don't know if it's too easy, but they do fit. Not very long, that's for sure. We've got power cord. Oh, just shy of 6 feet. Work lead. Again, just shy of 6. And the actual stinger is probably only about 4. 3.5, 4, somewhere in there. Move the old Harbor Freight out of the way for right now. And play with the new toy. I don't even know if it works actually. Well, the power switch doesn't light up, but it hums. Transformer hums reassuringly. Alright. Got a couple of sticks 3/32 6013 and 3/32 6011. And we're just gonna clean this up a little bit, try and strike an arc and see what happens. Start with the 6013. We definitely should be able to handle that. You know, it's a fairly cheap clamp, but it actually is really firm. And it gives you a choice of angles, so that's good. You can get this angle like this. You see that? Okay. You can get that angle, or you can get the, no, it's designed so you're supposed to be able to get the straight on, but the thing kind of bends here. Doesn't really hold them very well that way. Good way. Well, let's see if it'll strike. Can't keep an arc lit with it. Well, let's try a 6011. I'm gonna have to get some thinner rods for this thing. May have been wasted 20 bucks, because this thing is a piece of junk, at least it seems to be so far. Let's go back to trying the 6015. Oh, this thing's got a weak ass arc. Feels like it's barely burning this. Wow, that felt weak. Alright, let's try a comparison here. quick comparison. Alright, so this is my fabricator. Running. I know it doesn't do 6011, but running 6013, and just for straight up comparison, I'm running right now. I got it set to the 70 amps. This is supposedly set to. I just want to see if there's any difference there. Long arc there. Well, that ran better. So this was the Mity Mite, and this was the Tweako. We'll try the Mity Mite again here. Try to do this. We might hook it up and see what kind of amps it's actually pulling. Not feel like 70 minutes. Well, that's interesting to me. It actually appears that it is pulling 70 amps, almost 80. Just doesn't feel like it. Maybe that's the voltage. I don't know. It feels really weak. It's got a really weak arc. But let's see if we can do anything with the 6011 now. I can't keep it lit. It's either sticking or going out. Doesn't appear to be any in between. Maybe I just suck at 6011. So it looks like you're stuck with 6013 on this one, which sucks because I hate 6013. I'm not a fan. Helps if you do a scratch several times to warm the tip of the rod up. Alright, so that kind of answers my question. If given the choice between a cheap low amperage AC stick welder and a cheap low amperage AC flux core welder, I'll take the cheap AC flux core welder at this point. It's much easier to get a decent weld if you know what you're doing out of the AC flux core welder, even with its lack of settings and everything else, than it is to get a good weld out of a cheap low amperage AC stick welder. I mean, for the novice welder, flux core wins. I mean, maybe in the hands of a professional welder, the stick might do better, but it's just so low amperage. It only wants to run, at least in my hands, it only wants to run 6013. It doesn't run them very well. Even with those, it's tricky to keep the proper arc. It feels like it's really low voltage, but that's just me. Okay, before I show you these welds, remember, I'm not a welder. I really don't know what I'm doing. Even more so with stick, I can do okay with a wire welder because it's simple. And also, this was the piece that I was running all those beads on top of beads for the torture test on the Flux 125 welder. So you can tell there's a lot of metal on this. This is a very thick piece of metal now. This was the side I was working on first. This first stringy one was my first 6013 with that one. Down here is where I was trying to strike all those 6011s and they weren't going. This was my second 6013, my third 6013, my fourth 6014 or 13 with that welder. This was the one I ran with the Tweako. And then this one, I was trying to do it on the edge and not lining up very well, but that was the last one that I ran. Yeah, not fantastic. Pretty crappy beads overall, but it works with 6013. I can't get it to work with 6011. And that's 3/32. I don't have any smaller rods at the moment. I should pick some up and give it another try with those, but those are going to be 6013 as well. So, you know, you're pretty much stuck with 6013 and just trying to be careful.